having great questions from the great students who are here tonight, high school and college students. It's the start of the semester, so even more impressed that you guys got here now, so thank you. Great question from Erica from the Audi School. Erica asks, in relation to the protesters outside, which some of you may have noticed, why do you think citizens would oppose NATO and then point to the BRICS as a preferable group despite the member nations' history of human rights abuses?
Okay, we're here at the Junior League with a Green Party activist, Alan, and you said you wanted to make a special statement. What do you want to tell us here this evening?
This reminds me of back in the early days of Nigeria, where England and France, colonialist powers in Nigeria and Cameroon, wanted to test out their weapons on each other. So they armed those factions, and 1 million people died as a result of that war. In this day and age, the United States is the biggest munitions creator in the world, and it's selling its weapons of war all over the world for profit. And that's the big motivation. Follow the money. Find out in Texas, for example, where these munitions are being manufactured, by what individuals, what companies, and publicize them for what they're doing. The landmines are not outlawed by the United States. Thank you.
So we're here with Alfred Mollison, who was in Texas a statewide candidate for land commissioner. Alfred, you're holding a sign there with, it looks like a nuclear mushroom cloud, and we're at the Junior League. Why are you here this evening, Alfred?
The commander of NATO, I think it's Commander General Wolters, is going to be speaking tonight, and basically he and a lot of people are promoting endless war. They want the Ukrainian war to continue. They want the war to continue with China and beyond. And anyone who is a friend of the United States is under threat, just as the United States bombed the gas pipeline for Germany, between Germany and Russia. And also people who are allies of the United States, but they're just not unfriendly enough with Russia or China, they're under threat too. This is a bad relationship. And we need to put an end to the wars, and we need to put an end to the empire of exploitation that's going on. Thank you.
And I see you have another sign here. It says North Atlantic Terrorist Organization. Well, we're told that NATO has to be here, there, and everywhere because they're fighting terrorists. Do you take issue with that?
They're creating terrorists. That's what they're doing. They're creating a whole bunch of angry people, and they're messing up our own allies. So we need to put a stop to that.
Okay, thank you, Alfred. Signing off from Junior League in Houston.
Well, and so many of you have heard this, and it's not meant to sound corny, but and I suspect that so many of you, because I had the opportunity to shake some of your hands when you came in, I adore the fact that those protesters are sitting out there. I adore the fact that we have conditions on the ground that allow for that expression, number one. And that goes back to values. I adore our democratic values. This thing called free speech is a big deal. It produces Pulitzer Prize winners. It's our foundation. And somebody, a human being on planet Earth, having the right to express his or her opinion is just fine by me. That's usually a sign of health. So we should continue to promote that. And some of those protesters that are protesting against NATO and sustaining their solidarity are probably, unbeknownst to them, protesting against the very freedom that they have to express their opinion. And we've all kind of been down this logic path, but at the end of the day, that's a great question. And I would answer it with the way that I've answered it. This thing called values that allows us the opportunity to have free speech and express our opinions, that's a really good thing. That's a really
General Wolters, I command that your 40 years of service has led us into one failed war after another. Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya,
We're not-
Syria, and
I
now
appreciate your
your
perspective,
comrades in
but we don't need
NATO
to
are
listen to
using
that. That's not what I'm
Ukraine
hearing.
as a tool to destroy Russia. And with the failure of Ukraine's
Okay.
counteroffensive, and you're getting nuclear capable F-16 to Ukraine, which will lead us right over the abyss into total thermonuclear war. Right now, great freedom of speech.
I appreciate your perspective.
Yeah,
but one
so
thing
you do.
I would say is you're fortunate enough to not be going to jail or prison for a long time. If you're in Russia, you would be. Next week, if you want to come and talk about human rights and the rights of free speech, we're hosting the wife of Vladimir Kara-Murza, who has the unfortunate distinction of being poisoned twice.
Yeah, what
by
about
nerve
Julian
agents
Assange?
surviving.
Why don't we have that public? Why don't we have that public debate?
February 10th.
What you have is a situation where NATO's the aggressor.
This is not a debate.
This is not
That's
the
right.
time. Down and be polite.
Be
polite.
Nuclear war.
Be polite.
Be
Please
polite.
move along.
Be
Move
polite.
along.
Now, what we're going
Move
to
along.
do.
This is not a
Move
debate.
along.
This is a presentation.
Wait,
This is not the place to do this. It's not the place to do this. Move along.
It's Kool-Aid.
It's not the place
Not
to
a
do
debate.
this.
Go debate
Move
somebody.
along. You're interrupting everything. Move along.
Obviously,
Security, get this guy out of here. Move along.
People, you should give up
Move
the
along.
Kool-Aid.
Move along. Be polite and move along.
that's the concern we
Remember the Kool-Aid.
Can you discuss, I suppose, the kind of, internal frameworks and decisions and guidelines that you all approached in terms of, escalating a war potentially with Putin and him threatening to use, very openly sometimes tactical nuclear weapons?
So whatever it is, a foe of ours, and in this particular case, what you're referencing is the potential for Putin to execute some kind of drastic measure that could be nuclear. You shouldn't be surprised that hasn't been thought about with respect to a NATO response or a United States response. And we all understand proportionality. We all understand lethality. We all understand impactfulness. And you as a nation and we as NATO should be prepared at many different levels to have an appropriate response. And without getting into classified preparation or planning, rest assured that there's a degree of responses that the United States and the NATO nations are prepared to go to in the event that something that you referred to happens to unfortunately take place. That's extreme, and we should be prepared for extreme, and we are.
We cannot kill the human race, and you know it. Kennedy would throw your ass out. He would tell you, shut up. And why the hell are we backing up Nazis in Ukraine? You want to talk? I'll talk to you. How about this? You are a traitor to the United States and the human race. You are a traitor. You're an idiot, and you need to be thrown out of the human race.